So we're going to go on to the next contestant, who is Kathryn Hosbein, who is a chemistry student here at Portland State University, and her thesis is titled Diagnosing the Protective Quality of Coatings on Outdoor Sculptural Metalwork. Kathryn.
For thousands of years, art has provided a tangible link to cultural identities. The research in our lab focuses on materials used by artists and how to preserve them for future generations. We then interpret our understanding of these materials to art conservators who apply the knowledge directly. Metals are a widely used medium in the field of art, commonly utilized to create sculptures. These sculptures are preserved using protective coatings, such as wax and paint, that inhibit corrosion. Unfortunately, these coatings fail over time due to damage from light, heat, water, and pollutants. Conservators currently use visual cues to assess coating condition. Unfortunately, these cues present after damage to the sculpture has already occurred. The purpose of my research is to develop a method to detect coating failure before the onset of corrosion. To do this in the lab, we use a sensitive electrochemical technique called impedance spectroscopy to measure a coating's barrier properties, or how well the coating can keep out water and pollutants. A glass cell is filled with a salt solution that's able to permeate the coating. To measure how far the solution permeates the coating, you need 2 electrodes. A working electrode, which is the metal substrate itself, that sends a small non-destructive signal through the coating, and a counter electrode that's immersed in the salt solution that measures the response of the coating to the signal that traveled through it. There are 2 major problems with this method in use in the field. The first is you cannot directly attach to a sculpture, and the second is that not every sculpture is uniformly flat. My research involves using flexible hydrogels instead of the standard cell in the field. If you've ever been to the doctor and had an electrocardiogram, you've had sticky gels placed on your chest. These gels and their connections are acting as electrodes. The hydrogels I use in my research are working in a similar manner, except instead of measuring a heartbeat, they're measuring the health of the coating. These hydrogels are able to soak up the salt solution that can then penetrate the coating, and the barrier properties can be measured similarly to the standard cell, but without the need to attach to the sculpture. The overall goal of my project is to adapt and optimize this method for conservators to use in the field on sculptures to detect coating failure before damage has occurred. If my research about protecting artwork doesn't get your heart racing, know that corrosion accounts for 6% of the gross national product. Not only can this method be used on artwork, it can be used on industrial metalwork such as buildings and bridges as well. So while this method can aid in preserving artwork, it could potentially save the country hundreds of billions of dollars as well. Thank you.